I'm not gonna lie, I find decluttering hard. Do you find that as well? I find it hard, especially when I have to declutter my kitchen. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you a little bit of motivation and maybe inspiration if you're feeling exactly the same way. I'm actually gonna go ahead and declutter my pantry and declutter a small part of my pantry, just these 2 shelves here, whilst I'm making dinner. Because I feel like I'm able to get it actually done whilst I'm doing something else, or otherwise it just becomes another thing that I have to do. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jay, and you can follow along with this pantry declutter. I've actually done a part 1 already, and I'll leave it here for you to go ahead and watch. Give this video a like and a big thumbs up, it really helps the channel grow, and let's get into it. So as you can see from the pantry, there are other shelves that I have to tackle, but I have to come back to that and do it another day. But these are the 2 shelves that I'm working on today. And the bottom one is the one that I've worked on previously in the previous declutter video. So you can see all my jars, my spices, all my seasonings are all looking just a little bit all over the place. They really just need some attention and really just a little bit of organizing. I don't think there's a huge amount that I need to actually throw away, but it needs reorganizing, and some things just need to be rehomed. Now, I will say there was something inside of the pantry that had been in there almost the same age as my daughter. Now I am a little bit embarrassed, but keep watching and you can definitely find out what that is. I went ahead and just started taking everything out of the pantry. Luckily, most of it is already inside of containers as well. I bought these containers from IKEA, and I must say I absolutely hate them, truly because I just can't see what's inside and I have to get on my tippy toes. I'm not very tall, get on my tippy toes to see what's inside. But anyway, I'm going to work with what I've got for the time being and just use them. Now, I would normally talk through what I'm doing whilst I'm decluttering, and you may have seen that in previous videos, but my microphone decided to throw wobbly and not work on the day that I decided to record, so I just had to do it without any audio at all. So most of the time in this video you're gonna get a lot of me talking over and doing voiceovers for you. I hope you enjoy my voice. Now, this shelf organizer that you see me with, I think I've had for the longest time. I think for about 17 years, the time that I've been living here in Australia, but it's come in so handy and I absolutely love it. Now, the pantry itself wasn't too bad. It just had mostly crumbs and just a few bits of like seasonings and things that were on the shelf. So it wasn't too bad, but so I just went ahead and gave it a bit of a clean. Just made sure that it was a fresh start, ready for 2025 to embrace the year ahead. And there's nothing better than giving it just a bit of a clean. I attempted to go onto the other side and I looked at the crumbs underneath there. I was like, not today. I'm not going to tackle that. That's another video, I feel. And I think I'll probably finish off the whole series just by finishing off the rest of the pantry. To give you a realistic idea of how long this took me, I have time-stamped parts of the video just to give you an idea of actually how long it took me to declutter just these 2 shelves. I think it's really important when you're going through this process that you set yourself enough time to do things. I'm one of those people, I need a deadline, I need compressed time for me to get something done. So for me, being able to declutter whilst I was cooking really helped me, because if I left the kitchen like this, then we're not going to have any dinner whatsoever. So I made sure that I just tackled those 2 shelves at a time, just to help me get through the decluttering process and just allow me to at least be making some sort of progress than feeling completely overwhelmed, because I get overwhelmed very, very quickly. And then I just walk away and I'm like, right, I'm going out. I'm not going to do this anymore. I picked up a handy tip whilst watching a YouTube video once about jars and them being on tops of shelves, or if they're inside of a container that you can't quite see, like the ones that I have. And the tip was just to write on the top of the lid or the jar or the container exactly what it is. So in this instance, I was writing yeast on the top of this jar here, just so that you know what it is, and so then you don't have to then pick it up out of the shelf to make sure that you've got the right thing. So that's one of my pro tips. And if you've got the actual labels as well for the spice or herb or whatever it is, and if you stick it on the top of the label, you'll see it a little bit later on in this video, then that's also a good trick as well, because then it's bold, it's there, everyone sees it, and no one's wondering, where have the Italian mixed herbs gone? No, they're still there, they're still inside of the pantry, and everyone can see them. Whilst going through all of the items, I almost forgot that I was cooking dinner and almost burnt my pumpkin that was roasting in the oven. But everything was all right. There were no fires, everyone. Everyone was all good. So I continued on with the rest of the clutter. Now, I've mentioned before in a previous video, the previous part 1 to this video, that my husband is a chef. So he does bring home some interesting seasonings and ingredients that, seasonings and spices that I'd never heard of. But it does leave me in a position where I'm like, should I keep this? I've never used it before. Does he want that? Is that something I should be using? It's so tough. I just didn't know what to do with them. Anyway, luckily he was home, so I was able to ask him later on what he wanted to do with some of them. But God, that jar as well that I opened was, it was potent. Best believe I did not keep that one, and I got rid of it straight away. Once I took everything out of the pantry, as you can see, I found myself just doing a lot of shuffling, and I couldn't quite figure out where to start. I was like, what do I start with? Well, I did start with that very small jar of leftover couscous that was left behind, and I just chucked that out because that had been there, I think, for about 2 years. And it's not something that we eat all that often. But I found myself just shuffling and moving things around, not really knowing where to start. So I realized I've got so many of these containers. Why don't I just try and group things together? That helped me a lot. So I went through, took a look at what was expired, and if it was expired, what was out of date, or in this case, it had just gone bad because it had been sitting there. It was this one was a lemon pepper seasoning, and I think just the moisture had gotten to it, so it just wasn't any good anymore. So I threw those two out. So by grouping everything together and putting them inside, putting all the salts together, putting all the salt and pepper together, all the other seasonings, just helped to kind of narrow my focus a little bit more. I think the hard thing with pantry declutters is that there's so many small decisions that you need to make about those things, and it can get quite overwhelming. As I said before, I get overwhelmed very, very quickly. So for me, it's important that I just try and narrow my focus just a little bit to help me move forward and to make some sort of progress. This is where I started to gather and group everything together. So adding my salt and my pepper and any additional seasonings that I have, the basic seasonings, so not added spices or anything like that, all into one container so that it was just easier for me to get to and easier for everyone in the family as well to find. So white pepper, black pepper, all putting it inside one main container for everyone to get access to. Then I also group the other seasonings together. So I have other seasonings that I use as like rubs or use for like grilling meat or something like that. And I put those all together as well, so that they're all inside of one container. Because I know for my husband, he's a chef, he hates it when he goes into the pantry and I've reorganized everything. He's like, where is this? You know, he wants to get to everything like super quickly, as they do, as if he's in like a regular commercial kitchen. I'm like, darling, this is our kitchen. We're not running like that, I'm afraid. This is also one of my favorite smoked paprika. I absolutely love it. It just works so well with everything that I have. It's just beautiful to use. The great thing about decluttering, I found for myself, is that as soon as I start it, one of my kids, I have 3 kids, always comes by to come and chat with me, to see what I'm doing, is interested in what's going on, and just wants to have a chat. And I just love that. I almost purposefully do it sometimes just so that we can have these declutter and conversations and just have this kind of time together where it's just me and them just chatting, and we're not, you know, as it is, if you've got preteen kids or teenagers, they don't like being spoken to directly. So if we're doing something at the same time and having that conversation, it's just beautiful for us to have that time together. And I'm really cherishing that, because I know that it will be a few years before they're off and doing their own thing. So it's great that I have this opportunity to be able to look back at these moments when we had this time together. These ones can go over next to the stove. That one can also go in that container.
Brown. It's meant to be like.
Here, bring it here. I'll just show
Isn't it meant to be like red?
you. No, this is one.
Wait. Then we need something.
This one can have it. Can you write on the front of here, I'm not sure if this pen still works, baking box. Baking items or something.
Just put baking book
Because then I can put it on the front. I can put it on the front of this one. Here, like you see how it says baking powder.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, there's turmeric as well. Oh my god, best before July 2014.
Oh my god.
Oh dear. It's so hard, it won't focus.
Get out.
Okay, this one in particular I am going to talk through. These jars, great jars, love them, but completely impractical because I put 2 inside here. Whoa. I put 2 inside here and then it completely fills the container and I can't put anything else inside. So that's why I like these small jars, which are just coffee jars, by the way. Look, I'll show you. Just coffee. This is a bigger jar, obviously, but just coffee jars. I always keep them, and I try and buy different sizes so that I can then store things inside quite easily. So you can see here. So I'm actually going to decant my Italian herbs, and which is not even that much inside, and then put it inside this jar instead, because it just takes up too much room. I love it, but it's not practical. Anyway, let's decant. I just need just a jar. Just look for all the jars.
Could I like take the sugar out of this?
Yeah, we could do. I don't think we need all that sugar. Okay, put that one down if that's an option. And I see at the very top. Just alright. Just move that. No, just move that box out of the way at the front there. That brown box. Yeah. What's inside that one?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, that's dandelion root. I don't know if we want to use that. We might use that for something else. Okay. Can I see anything else from back here? What about behind those? What's inside that tin? Yeah, in that one.
These like leaves.
Yeah, put that down. We can use that for something. That little jar we can leave. I use that for coffee when we go away, so that's fine. Put that back. Put that back at the top.
Perfect.
Oh, excellent. Yes. Let's keep
We
that
can
one.
use these two.
Yeah. Okay. Put that down there. As you can see, it was a Sunday afternoon. It's pretty hectic, pretty busy in my kitchen, trying to declutter and trying to make dinner at the same time, as well as my husband coming in. He was bringing in some carrots from the garden that he's then washing up, you can see in the sink. There's a lot going on. But I think sometimes we try and overcomplicate the process, or want to have it as a perfect situation and a perfect scenario where you can dedicate a whole day to decluttering. But the reality is sometimes you just got to work with what you've got and the time you've got, especially if you're a family or a mum with kids. You just got to work within the confines and the space and time that you have to just make these things work and make these things happen. So I'm hoping that this video provides you with a little bit of inspiration that actually it can be done, and we don't need to make it the biggest mountainous job ever. Mountainous? Is that the right term? I'm hoping that it is. As we approach our last bits of organising the pantry, we've kind of reached the end and managed to do a fair bit, I feel, in my opinion. I think that I did. My daughter and I did pretty well. We only tackled these 2 shelves here, but it was enough. It was enough to make it feel less cluttered, less messy, less untidy, just a little bit more organised, and that we actually, we've taken the time to organise things and just have a little bit more order in the pantry, not like the haphazard mess like it was before. Then you can take a look for yourself as the before and afters come up. So that's the area that I tackled before in part 1 of the declutter, and the one that you can see there on the right is the area that I have done. And I'm always curious with decluttering videos. I always wonder, I wonder if it actually stayed that way. Well, yes, it has been. So that's about 3 weeks or so since I did the first area on the left-hand side. And it has stayed really tidy. Like, it's just been really great for us. And so this is the area that we went ahead and decluttered. As you can see, that's got those big labels there, and on the tops of the jars as well. It's looking pretty good, I have to say. I'm pretty happy with it. Now, this isn't a massive transformation. It's enough for me to know where everything is. I've got my herbs in one container right there. I've got my spices. I also have my peppers in another one. And I also have my seasonings across 2 containers. Perfect. Salt and peppers as well. Brilliant. That's how it was looking beforehand on that shelf. And this is the after. So much clearer and a lot tidier, with a few extra spare jars as well that we found, and I have some other spices that I want to put inside of there. And that's the end of the declutter for part 2 of this video. Make sure you are subscribed for part 3, where we'll go ahead and declutter the rest of the pantry, which is going to be a slightly bigger job, but I'm ready for it. Are you ready for it? I'm ready. Keep fighting for simplicity, gorgeous, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.